In 1923, the University of Alabama offered Wade their head coaching position. What they got was an iron disciplinarian who immediately transformed the culture of Alabama football. Wade's players called him the Bear.
We ride with legends, we roll with pride. From Wade to Saban, the Crimson Tide. 18 rings, the record's clear. Dynasty built year after year. We teach the past, we preach the now. We break it down, show you how. From Bryant's grit to Bama's roll, we stomp the field and on the score. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. Asking balls rise, so leads the way. Final four dreams in full display. Gymnastics flips with flawless grace. Champions born in every space. We honor hustle, we praise the grind. Every sport, every tight mind. From hardwood heat to balance beam. We rep the red, we rep the team. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. We don't just talk, we educate. Breaking down plays, we elevate Heisman runs and draft day fame. We know the stats, we name the game. Rivals tremble when down us kneel. We bring the facts, we bring the fear. The same just hype its legacy. The tide rolls deep in history. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lives and legends prove. So tune in loud, let the story unfold. Of crimson fire and hearts so bold. We shine the light on every win. From past to present we dive in. This show's for fans who bleed that red. Who know the names, the paths they tread. We're not just proud, we're certified. The voice, the pulse of Crimson Tide. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lies and legends prove. Around the herd, we speak the truth. Where glory lies and legends prove.
Roll Tide, Bama Nation. Welcome to Tide Sports, the Alabama football mega cash. Alabama Nation, thank you for joining me today on whichever virtual space you have chosen. Tell everybody to lock me in. Buckle up and let's talk about your Crimson Tide, the greatest dynasty that the world has ever seen. Now, them Pittsburgh Steelers are pretty good. But Pittsburgh ain't got nothing on that doggone Tide. Do you agree? Before we get ready, folks, share time with brother and drop that thing right on the subscribe button as you settle in. Folks, we are on a roll to our next major milestone. I think we're about to hit, hopefully we can get to 750 by the end of the year. If we can do that, I don't know, that'll just be a great Christmas present for me. If we can get there, that'll be great. And I need you guys' help to get there. Also, I do want to share that I am now on TikTok, Tight Sports. I'm out there doing some behind-the-scenes stuff, some random stuff, little Steelers stuff over there, every once in a while too, because they got some stuff over there that's driving me crazy with Pittsburgh. That game in Miami was crazy. But before we get started, just want to remind you, if I successfully stimulate the happy juice in your gray matter and make your funny bone jiggle, please let the algorithm know. Just reach out and let it know by poking that like button right in the eye, folks. Just poke it right in the eye. Now, let's get started. Where are we at today? Where are we up? I think we got one more game. Oh yeah, well, not at all. The opponents have at the Tide have faced for this year, except for Georgia, are sitting at home waiting for the portal to open up. As you know, now we should be. Now some of y'all need to be out there panhandling. Now everybody laughed at Greg Byrne when he was like, he did this thing. His mouth was all crusty. He was on TV last year, and he did this plea to Alabama fans for money. Everybody was giggling. Everybody was like, y'all broke. No, that man is a genius. He got ahead of him. We need more money at the University of Alabama. Don't act like you don't need no money now, especially with your record. If you was finished below 600, you need more money than the law even allows. That money that you need may not even exist for your school. So now the Tide moves on to the Rose Bowl for another chance to advance toward a natty. The Crimson Tide has a long relationship with the Rose Bowl. It's like, you know, it kind of got us going. If you go back to 1926, a scrappy Southern team shocked the world by upsetting Washington 10-0, and it wasn't just a win. It was the champagne of victories that proved that Southern football was the real deal. By the way, all you Southern teams, you're welcome. Alabama has since had amassed a 5-1-1 record in the Granddaddy of Them All, including all the ones in Pasadena, and there was one in Arlington, which, whatever. And these were used to spring Alabama toward their 18 national titles. I think I may have mistaken something. I want to clear something up. There's myth about where Big Al came from. While the Tide was rolling through the 1930 season toward another Rose Bowl invite, sports writer Everett Strumper of the Atlanta Journal, now it's the Journal-Constitution, it used to be Atlanta Journal, and there was the Atlanta Constitution, they merged. Anyway, he was just taken by the physical dominance of the Crimson Tide, and during the game against Ole Miss, Strumper famously wrote that the earth began to tremble as the Alabama linemen took the field. He noted that a fan yelled, "Hold your horses, the elephants are coming." Because of the way the massive players in their crimson jersey looked, the red elephant imagery has stuck, eventually evolving to a sports writer's metaphor into the beloved trunk-swinging mascot we know as Big Al. There was another rumor that it was something about the steamer trunks they had, and the company used the elephant on the side when they were at the Rose Bowl, and that happened like the year before 1930. But either way, that's kind of where that whole thing with them originated, somewhere around all that. Now, Alabama has had 5 legendary leaders gone to the Rose Bowl, and they fared, I guess, okay. Wallace Wade went out there. He lost 1. No, he was 2-0-1. He won 2. And of course, he has 3 national championships under his belt. Frank Thomas went out there. He won 2, lost 1. And he has 2 national championships under his belt. Y'all don't even know who Frank Thomas is. Nick Saban, of course, he won 1, he lost 1. That Michigan one was held in, the Rose Bowl was moved to Texas because of COVID, and it don't even count. We're going to just look past that. Yeah. So, Alabama just doesn't show up at the Rose Bowl and say, "Hey, what we doing today?" They go out there and write the brochures. When they pass out the invites, they tell you about the great performances of Alabama players. In 1946, Harry Gilmer completed 100% of his passes. 8 for 8, setting a record for completion that has stood for decades. Ain't nobody else about to go 100%. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Then you had the Heisman show with DeVonta Smith hauled in 3 receiving touchdowns. With all them USC teams and receivers and quarterbacks, I would have thought somebody else would at least tied that. But that's what DeVonta Smith pretty much shut down. Probably made the Irish secondary just quit football. And then Alabama remains the first Southern team to ever win a Rose Bowl. Feat, as I said before, changed the landscape of college football forever. All of you guys are welcome, from Hattiesburg to Valdosta to Gainesville, Miami. You're welcome. Baton Rouge, yeah, we put everybody on the map. And we about to put y'all back on our back if this thing goes right. Now on Monday, Coach DeBoer faced the national media. It's a fairly long press conference. I kind of broke it down the other day, watched that. But here are the cliff notes. He walked in the press conference looking pretty, like, no nervous. He wasn't nervous. He looked confident. He sat down, and and he kind of had the "I'm built for this" type look on his face. I want to hit it's me. What's going on? Saw today that the Rose Bowl game will be exactly 100 years since. Yep, 1926. That's right. And we'll be going to 26 this year. Right. New Year's Day, Alabama won 2019. Is off the game that's, as I just stated. That is right. I can't believe, it's hard to imagine that Southern football is not being taken seriously. And now people don't want to take us as serious because they want us to think that the Big Ten has equal football. And I'll say this. I'll give the top third of the Big Ten, maybe they could wreck shop in the SEC. I doubt it. But their bottom 2/3, man, is awful. Anyway, back to DeBoer. The Granddaddy of Them All is calling, and DeBoer just, he talked about the health of our doggone players out there. I don't know if you know, but, man, we knew from last week that the offense is fairly healthy, and Jam is on a pitch count as far as how many runs he gets to prevent further injury. So they're pretty much good on the offensive side. But Coach DeBoer gave big kudos to all the trainers, doctors. He named them all by name, and the staff for getting the team very healthy. The healthiest they say they have been in a very long time, with a special shout out to Coach Ballou, because during the game of Oklahoma, Alabama had 4 players that were clocked running over 20 miles per hour, which is the first time that happened since the Tennessee game. Okay, so back in Tennessee when we crushed them snitches. But on defense, let's talk about the big man in the middle. Tim Keenan, after dismantling Oklahoma, where he was out there wrecking shop like a one-man demolition crew, he was a little sore after the game. They do not expect him to miss the date at the Rose Bowl. Next, we had Red Morgan. He has a lower extremity problem. He's dinged up. He is one of our best strikers. I say, like, Bray Hubbard is probably our biggest thumper, but really everybody missed tackles. But Red, when he's out there, it seems like he makes tackles at the right moment, like third down. Puts them into a 4th and long, or puts them into a second. Red really, since he's gotten back into the lineup earlier, he's earning his soup at the end of the day. And man, we just hope we get him back out on the field. He's expected to be there. The big question is, can we get our best pass rusher, our highest graded pass rusher, back on the field? We haven't had LT Overton on the field for quite some time. I looked around, high and low, gossip, X, whatever. Some people say he has maybe a major lower leg extremity thing, but then they just label it as some kind of injury. But he's a pass rush specialist. He has the highest grade coming off that edge, and they're monitoring him like a hawk on a wire. And if he steps on that grass, he's going to be hungry. They're probably holding him back because they know he'll hurt himself trying to play well. But bottom line is, the Tide seems to be getting healthy at the right time. We are 11-3, and we're the underdog, if you can believe that, going against the number 1 team in the country. The number 1 team in the playoffs, number 2 team in the country, whatever. They ranked a lot higher than us. And we are headed to a place that Alabama has a history that's written in gold. So, we're ready for New Year's Day because, it's Crimson Tide, man. We make people cry inside that Rose Bowl. You better go ask some man to tell y'all. You better go talk to him, man. He's still around there looking for a girl. Anyway, moving on. Coach DeBoer opened up talking about, he said, this is special, it's historic. These guys are excited because the Tide has 15 players from Cali. And guess what they're doing? Going back to Cali. You knew that was coming. Anyway, there's another, I think 10 or 12 players from the West Coast because Jeremy Bernard is from Las Vegas, baby. So they're all trying to get their doggone tickets up. They trading with folks. Yo, you gonna eat your cornbread? You know, they trying to get some. They trying to get some tickets. Like, you know, your mama ain't coming from New Jersey, freshman. Give me your tickets. Well, you know, last year's parents probably come or something. But you know, if you got 10 tickets, you know, you can go and break your teammate off with about 5 of them because you ain't bringing that many people from Millville, New Jersey, wherever that is. That's right. He's from Millville. So they're all fired up about that. And then, you know, you got this whole plot twist, man. That game, I can't get away from talking about that game for a few minutes. He talked about that Oklahoma comeback, and he said, just like last year against Oklahoma, they were trying to get that one play. They could not find that one play. We was down 14-3 against them last year. He couldn't get that one play, but he stayed with the script. And then he pointed to this first down strike with Lacia Brooks. It's like, man, you can almost like hear him reliving it. He said, you know, talked about that throw, that catch. He said that's when the sideline woke up a freshman. That's not 17. A freshman. He woke everything up. He talked about Daniel Hill's touchdown, like, you know, like he didn't even try to hide how much he just savored that run in that game. It was a big time effort. You know, we all know Coach Caleb Boy is totally different from the GOAT Coach Saban, but he really like, man, that guy was like, did y'all see that? It was like, you know, he's kind of like enjoying it like we enjoy it. And it's a new day, folks. It's a new day. Actually, I was listening to the tomorrow I'm dropping a video. I'm doing a little analysis of Coach Kurt Signetti of University of Indiana. Or was it Indiana University in Bloomington? I don't know. Doing a little analysis of him. And he brought up an interesting point about those two guys. It's like all the last coaches, Dabo, Kirby, even Urban, could they grind teams through such a long playoff to get this championship? Because you're still limited on how many people you have on your team. And like Signetti was at IUPI, I think that's what they call it, Indiana University in Pennsylvania, is a job he took after leaving Tuscaloosa. And of course, you know, Coach DeBoer was at Sioux Falls. So they have this long playoff history where they're used to going in and having to win, you know, play your whole season. Then you got to coach people through another 3-4 games to win the championship. Coach DeBoer has multiple championships at that level, but you can't buy that kind of experience. It ain't necessarily what we're doing now, but it's something. Because if nothing else, you have to know how to motivate your teams through a very, very long season. So, you know, the other day it just looked like Alabama football, and the standard came alive in the second quarter. Like I said, I make no doubt about it. I was going to lose my mind if I sat in front of that TV another minute after the first quarter. As soon as that first quarter went to 0, I went out. I listened to the second quarter. I did not watch. I had a cigar. I had my drink, and I listened to the comeback, and I was okay. And then your boy ran a warm bath for halftime. And by the time I got back in my seat for the third quarter, it was a tie game. And I was at peace because I was going to lose my freaking mind. Just sit there. I couldn't do it. That's why I stopped watching live. I couldn't do it. I don't know what these dudes are going to do from 1 minute to the other. But the board, Coach DeBoer did not sugarcoat this whole thing. He said we had too many drops. We know that. We'll fix that, he said. And, you know, Alabama, that's what we do. We got to own our mistakes, fix them, and then make somebody else pay for their mistakes. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So they're locked in, focusing, understanding exactly what's at stake. And you could feel it like he wasn't guessing about where his team is mentally or where they are. He was reporting just the facts. You know, kind of in that same way where either Saban was going to tell you something or not. He was just reporting the facts about the team. Now, when he talked about, you know, Indiana, he gave them their flowers. He said they're undefeated for a reason. They are disciplined and they are physical. And then he shifted, from his tone just a little and said, you know, we respect them, you know what I'm saying? But he said, we're confident in who we are. Sounds like He was saying, ain't no killer, but don't push me. or at least he was saying, we ain't scared though. Not at all. We ain't scared. We just gonna do that. And he was kind of saying like, and I feel it too. I looked at their schedule today and it's like, are you really impressed? You got to be impressed with anybody being undefeated. I mean, but golly. Have y'all seen their schedule? I mean, I know they beat Ohio State, but have y'all seen that schedule? I'm very suspect on these schedules like Miami and the Big East back in the day. Is it easier when you play like 8 people who really, when you can play like 8 people on your schedule 10 times and literally beat them 9.5 times out of 10, I question your schedule. I just do. Everybody, we almost lost to South Carolina. Gene Stallings almost lost to, was it Southern Miss or Vanderbilt before going on to crush Miami in the 1992 National Championship. So I am not thrown by close games. It's hard to go undefeated. But when I'm looking at your schedule, I'm like, wait, where you get them from? It's just what is that? And I'm gonna get to it later, but I'm going to look at their rush defense. I'm already doing some analysis on it, and I'm looking at their rush defense. They're supposed to be ranked like 3rd, I don't know, amongst the FBS schools or number 1 in rushing defense. But I'm looking at who rushing against them. Again, respect is given, but I am not that pressed. It's me saying, I know he was sandbagging the whole time. I know. He said that night. He said, I love my team sandbags. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't. I told you, I don't care. If Alabama won every game by 21 points from now to the day I turn 100, it wouldn't bother me at all. I could just maybe read a book while the game is playing. I don't have to have all that intrigue, I don't need it at all. So the board talked about the practice. He said energy is good. He said the focus is good. Execution is improving. He said the team is healthy, locked in, embracing the moment. They're not overwhelmed. They don't seem to be distracted. I think I know 2 people on the team that are distracted. I'm just say Ryan Williams and Jaylen Mbakwe. They're very distracted. If you know who the comedian Steve Brown is, go look him up. He's a comedian, but he was a college coach at a lower level. He was a high school coach, Pee Wee coach, but he's a comedian, and he's on another show. I can't think of the name of it, with like several, Marvin Constant, Sam, I can't think of this guy's name. I know Marvin Constant and Stephen M. Smith. He's on a show with them, and he talks about, but on his Facebook, he talked about the distractions that Ryan Williams may be dealing with. And he said, it ain't even Ryan Williams' fault. This was the thing. He said, it's not Ryan Williams' fault. It's the fault of the upperclassmen on that team. He said, because if you think some of them people, Reggie Ragland and Dante Hightower and what's his name, the first quarterback, I can't think, Dante Hightower, who was that first linebacker? Because he later he went off in the streets. He was drafted by the Raiders, 09 champion. But he said, if you think some of the older players, Quentin Williams and all the people would have had Ryan Williams doing TikToks in their locker room, y'all out y'all mind. He said, they may have said something about the fingernails. They may have said something about the dog. They may have said something about the fact this man producing a whole show, but you out here dropping balls. And Steve Brown said that, actually, if these are about causes from the dolls to the fingernails, wouldn't your cause be served better by you catching the football? You have a bigger space. Maybe you go to the Heisman race and you can tell people about your causes for your fingernail being painted and you're in your relationship with your sister and her business. But it got to start on the field. So he's saying, like, for the fact that basically some upperclassmen didn't come and punch him right square in the middle of his forehead after he did that TikTok video. He said every drop that you see out there, which I think we're at 16, 17 on the last 2 years. It's 12 or 17. It's either 17 in 2 years. So, but every drop you see is a responsibility of, it could be the coaches. because I know the coach that just left, he gave him a lot of praise. I'm thinking that maybe Derek Nix can give him some of that old SEC just true. Son, you got to pick it up. And then I wonder sometimes his cohort on his podcast is Jalen Mbakwe, who I see him on special teams. I don't see him nowhere else. You know, he was a DB. Then he went to wide receiver. Or either way, I don't see him. If they took him and just said, yeah, there's going to be a large sucking sound that opens up in a couple of weeks, and you need to jump into there because we snatching all your deals from you. Because you remember when he shook the school down, he jumped in the portal, and Ryan Williams and them, they worked him back out. But we're going to let him slide on back in because maybe that'll disrupt the show. And there's nothing wrong with doing the show, but you're doing the show and dropping balls, man. It's just, anyway, Stephen Brown used all the expletives that I don't want to use right here to try to explain what's going on. And I think he did an absolute great job. Whether you agree or disagree with him, there is some distraction going on in that young man's life. Could be some personal stuff going on, but it just seems like you need to limit the distractions and get back to the real deal. I mean, just like Dante Lawson going back on the field early in the year, he didn't have all this lateral movement and all that stuff. Now him and Jefferson and Nikai Hill-Green, they're playing like monsters out there. Our linebackers are on fire. I don't know if you notice it. Don't nobody say nothing about it. They on fire. Don't tell nobody. We got one of the best. No, we got the best group in the country, as far as I'm concerned. And because Deontay Lawson cleared all his distractions, focused on his knee, nice focusing on his play, and he's all over the place. So anyway, the offense is growing into a problem. We're improving, we're learning, we're finding that rhythm. The run game is still not where we want it to be, but it's like, man, what if you can squeeze through all this without actually running the ball that effectively? Or what if the little bit of effectiveness you have in the SEC triples because you're not playing SEC teams for a minute? You could run into, I guess you could run into Ole Miss, I'm thinking, or Georgia some kind of way. But what if you start running into people who they can't stand the pain? They can't deal with, they can't pick up what we're putting down. And Coach DeBoer didn't go deep into defensive details, but, the way he talked about him, you could tell that, he really trusts what those guys are doing over there. I mean, he just absolutely has, and you can see it. He said they're consistent, they're physical, and they've been very reliable throughout this whole process. Through this whole year, they've gotten stronger and stronger. And we know Indiana ain't seen no defense like this. Heisman Trophy aside, whatever you've been doing, I know they say he had Fernando. What's his name? For the quarterback for IU, Mendoza. He has the lowest. I think he got less yards thrown than Ty Simpson almost. I got to check that. But he ain't seen them like this. He ain't seen no linebackers close space like this, and he ain't seen no secondary that hit or cover like this. Xavier Brown, he's a witch, okay, or a warlock. You know what I'm saying? That man, they're going to get a full-fledged experience on what we deal with from time to time. Like every other SEC game is pretty tough. All of them are tough, but some of them are very tough. Now, it's a good thing. We got good problems right now. You know what I'm saying? We got to get some people healthy if we can. I see they made some moves on the line that I appreciated. When I saw the offensive line, I saw Will Conformi playing a lot at right tackle. But I'm seeing that he went back and forth. That's fine, as long as they got it figured out. Let's sure it up. Jaden Roberts did get into the game last week and play significant minutes. Cam Dewberry is out there, and I think so was Gino Vandermark on the offensive line. But, he just praises players that come back, that comeback that they had. And, he just embraced the moment. It was a very long press conference because they had the national people come in first, then the local people. But like I said, I think, as Alabama, I think we're ready. And we're coming to the Rose Bowl to get a win. We're going to give it our best shot. And maybe, we we can get 3.5 quarters of great Alabama football, which is something I don't think we've seen probably since the Georgia game. Yeah, Georgia, because that first quarter was something else. And now I want to give you a brief little connection from one of our earlier graduates of the Capstone Coaching Clinic. As you know, Coach Kurt Cinetti, he did work with Alabama from 2007, I think, until 2009. He departed after he got that ring. Cinetti said that Saban he's a real important part of his journey. And he said he wouldn't be where he is today without the time in Tuscaloosa. Now, that's not just flattery, that's truth. In his press conference with the media, he says that he thinks about the things that Saban taught him every day. Every day he thinks about the lessons that man taught him, because he said he started his coaching career when he was 23 years old. He stayed as an assistant for 28 years before he took a head coaching job. So he's kind of long in the tooth. And, you know, when you learn under the GOAT, man, you don't just get a job. You get a philosophy, you get a backbone, you get a standard that doesn't bend. But, you know, now the student is going to meet the master's legacy. Yeah, it's still a legacy of Saban around there, you know, because we rolling on that pride. Now, Indiana rolls into the CFP undefeated, top seeded, feeling themselves, but they're walking into a matchup of the very program that shaped their coach's DNA. CBS Sports notes that Cignetti built Indiana's rise using the same principles he learned under Nick Saban: discipline, structure, recruiting precision, and a relentless expectation of excellence. And this is the thing, and I think he got that eye. Cignetti doesn't have a lot of 4 and 5 stars, if any, but here's the thing, and I've always told people, even in 07, 08, 09, he got Julio, whatever, but the other 3 stars and things that he brought in, Saban knew what kind of player he needed for himself. Just because you're a 5-star at Florida, that doesn't mean this coach over here needs that type of 5-star. You know, there are different type of defensive linemen, there are different type of edge rushers, there's different type of cornerbacks. You know, Damani Jackson, for instance, somehow is not working as well for him as it may have under Saban. Go figure, because it's different. There's different types of linebackers, there's different type of running backs, big backs, power backs, strong backs, you know, flex backs, you know, those that catch very well, those they can't catch a brick, but they can pass block. So it's all kind of different. So you got to have that eye to say, I see this guy doing that. Tom Osborne had it. Osborne repeatedly told people exactly when they were going to play if they came to Nebraska. And I think Cignetti got it. That's how he's built that program from a doormat to the #1 team in the CFP. And you got to give it to him in just 2 years. Just 2 years. But here's where the Tide fan in me gets really serious. You can borrow the process. You can study the process. You can even build your own version of the process. But there is only one Alabama, folks. You know it and I know it. And there's only one place where the process was born, raised, and perfected. Cignetti may have taken the recipe, but Alabama still owns the kitchen. You see what I'm saying? The Rose Bowl matchup isn't just a playoff game. It's a philosophical program. Philosophical showcase. It's Saban's legacy versus Saban's student. It's the original version, the remix versus the remix. And here's the thing. We like to say Saban this, Saban that. You got to throw on some Gene Stallings love in there in the mid-90s. You got to throw on some Bear Bryant and the other coaches that came. It's a long legacy that Saban added to. Added a lot, but he added to it. But 6 divided by 18 is 33%. Just in case you're wondering. So Indiana is undefeated. They're impressive. Cignetti rise is respectable. When the ball kicks off, all that mentor, student, nostalgia stuff, that's going to fade away, because Alabama is not just leaving, town to go out there and try to celebrate and have some kind of damn reunion. Alabama is showing up to advance. And if Cincinnati wants to prove that he's truly built something Saban worthy, he got to go through the very program that, taught him how to win and how to finish. I mean, the Hoosiers are favored by 7, so good luck with that. And speaking of luck, I am out of time. So I'm gonna press my luck and try to run this thing out a very long time. I want to thank It's Me for coming through tonight. Thank you all for joining me. Who was watching this after the fact, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to flick that notification bell so you know when I drop a video. And remember to poke that like button right in the eye. And I want to thank, all of you for making Alabama great always, especially my people over at the Be Sharp and the Sharpshooters podcast. Kangaroo Black. Kangaroo, put that doggone luggage back in your attic. That man came out to that first quarter. He had luggage under his arms. He threw it on the ground. He called all the coaches out. Said, come get this. You're going to need this to move. Woo! I didn't want to lose it like that, so I stepped away. But I almost went there. Bama Moore, The Long Run with Piano Man, Rags and Fitness. Thank you all for making Alabama great always. And, all the best to the brothers at Auburn Addicts Water Cooler Podcast. Bubba and the old man, it's SEC season. And I'm about to go over the It's SEC season right now. He has a very interesting show. He does like different poll questions. He covers the SEC. He is an Auburn fan. He's good people, but I'm going over there right now to see if I can have some Christmas fun with him. He say he's having a Christmas party right here on YouTube. So I'm going over there at 8 o'clock. Nope, at 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central. And also to Dustin over at the Up Tempo Podcast, the Huggy Beard himself, aka the Rooster Mac, and Vandy Chris at the Golden Broom Podcast. I'm advising all the Auburn podcasters not to get caught up in waiting for the Tide's playoff demise. You want to focus all that energy on building a big brick wall over that huge opening called the playoff portal, because that thing is getting wider and wider for you guys. It's getting crazy. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Your boy will be turning another year older on Thursday. Me and JC, we get down together. We got the same birthday. Allegedly, because I had the Christmas, they picked it out, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. So, send me 2 subscribers on Thursday for a Christmas and a birthday present. How about that? And let's see what else. Like I say, check me out. I'm on TikTok, doing some things a little bit different. I'm having some weird conversations on TikTok. Better than X though. That X. Woo. Also, you can view my show normally over there on Facebook as well, but I'm primarily here on YouTube. I want to thank you all. I will see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And I do have a video dropping every day, including Christmas Eve, and including the newest federal holiday, the day after Christmas. I am dropping a video every day, all the way till we get to put out the playoffs. I'm just going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just the right thing to do. But with that, folks, I'm going to get out of here. But always remember, folks, roll, tide, roll.